and staff cleaved and tried to do as much damage as possible without putting themselves in danger of death. But then what happens there is that your frontline push isn't nearly as strong because you have player staff cleaving instead of using their sword, and they weren't able to. They got in a lot of good positions to push and a lot of good positions to do damage, but just didn't have all the players with them. So like.
And I believe it was Arabs over here in the corner. We saw 2 committed fully, and he chose that moment to lich 2 actually from behind their train, and that's how they ended up catching the driver with a well-coordinated well bomb and a lich at the same time. Well, that'll melt any melee.
So I've actually gotten confirmation from Dag, and it looks like Wins has been kicked from BMO. So it looks like
so Wins out of another guild.
The guild unknown.
I honestly can't say I'm surprised. Honestly can't say anyone's surprised about Wins getting kicked from another guild. The toxicity is real. But it also turns out that 2 short on members tonight, having to sub in a few players from the Fluttering Horde, as well as Dag, the driver of BMO. So 2 lacking some of their core players, I guess, but they're still going ahead playing the GvG and doing what they have to do to stay in, or to at least get their rounds done. And we're going to see the next round coming up soon. I would like to see if the driver for 2 can make anything happen here. They managed to get a few downs from him that time, a couple of both gank from him, and a couple of necros. And let's see if he can improve on that this next round. And waiting to see you there. So, what was the other thing I saw? We saw Serene making a lot of plays. If they don't, 2 needs to watch out for him. We joke here that he's pretty useless, but he's definitely someone that the gank for 2 needs to shut down early on. Alright, let's see. 1300 is the time, so in about 41 seconds we will start the next round here. And Kyle, what do you expect C2 do differently this time?
They did they took my advice, or I don't know if they really took my advice, but they inadvertently listened to me and pushed out toward the middle of the arena, and had some good pushes when they got in. The thing is they have to counter that range pressure, because if they don't, then their front line goes into their push lacking health, and they're not able to punish anyone.
Alrighty, so we'll see if they'll make the right adjustments here. 7 seconds to the round starts. Both sides moving up early. Him getting an early power up. 2 doing the same. Here now they move towards the center of the arena. Much better stealth blast by 2 this time. Expect to see them going deep into Him's melee. And we see the early stacks go off. However, I believe 2 is already inside of them. Yes, they are. They're already in the back of Him's melee. Looking for Necros early. Training them down. Possibly caught a gank, looking for Serene right now. We see Fayev counter pushing back into them. They've switched sides in the OS, and Fayev now pushing to the back of 2. We see 2 players leaping back, trying to get in powers off. A lot of low frontline for 2. A low Necro in the back here. Looks like Serene is in the middle, looking for that Necro, trying to get out now, possibly taking a lot of damage. And now we see Fayev leaping into 2, trying to catch more low players that are in there. 2 leaping ahead, going to the gank, and we see Liches already going up for him early on in this round. 2 trying to kill the Liches. We see two players go down. They're going to get cleaved out here. No banners going down yet, and they're still okay. There goes the banner. So both players are going to get back up, rolling back towards their side. I'm going to move back. I'm way too close to the round. And we see the driver for 2 leap in all by himself, going for Chip, who is down. Also Valentis is down, so that's 2 gank down. We see Valentis get cleaved out. Chip going to get back up though from the banner. The banner came a little too late there to get both gank up, and now we have a 2 Guardian down. 2 going to save him, low driver for 2, and we see Fayev getting a re-empower off. Now he's pushing on the Guardian, who was down, putting 2 on the reactive. That Guardian down really put them out of their momentum. Now they're being pushed back into the water side here. Getting an empower off, Fayev pushing on their empower, can't, too much pressure in front of him, pulls back to try to get one of his players up who was pressured by the range, and now we see 2 pushing back into him, almost locking them down in this corner, but they're losing players during the push, and that's a Necro going to go down. Fayev going to secure the kill now for him. Him now pushing out to the left side of the arena, trying to push 2 back into the corner, getting an power off, and 2 pushing into him right now. We see a lot of damage coming down, trying to avoid it. Fayev is stuck in the bomb, rolling out, getting his heal off right there. Now a 2 player goes down from the counter damage coming down from him. We see 2 players going down right now for 2. They're going to get cleaved out here. FEOP now on the push. A lot of low players for 2. They need to get in power off soon. Otherwise, they're going to just get rolled over here. We see another player go down, and FEOP going to stop, going to finish that off, do it one at a time, play it safe. Now they're pushing into the rest of the low melee. 2 players down right now, 3 players down, 4 players down for 2. One's going to get punted away. However, he's going to get finished off on the punt. And we see maybe a few backline left. 2 more players going down here. That's going to be GG. Him takes the 3rd round of this GvG.
I definitely had the right idea and strategy there. They were able to secure the center of the OS at the beginning there, and they were able to actually keep him kind of pushed up into that corner for a while. But I don't know if they just lacked some sustain from their Guardians and Elementalist Waterfields, or if they just, some player miss micro with people going down too much, but not able to hold on to that.
Something I just read chat that's interesting in terms of the bigger picture for this tournament. If him wins this GvG, they will take the lead in the Yak Spin bracket over Boo. So the Boo player is rooting for 2 right now to take some rounds off of him. And they were able to down the Thief, Valentis and Chip that time, but nothing else really hitting off for them melee or offensively that round. Excuse me. Kyle, what were your thoughts on that last round we saw? Anything that stood out to you from either side?
I think that 2's driver died a little bit early in the round, and they probably switched to someone. And I'm sure a lot of I'm sure they have more than one capable driver in their group. But anytime that happens, there's a kind of a lack of a little bit of a loss of demeanor and a little bit of a lack of confidence that happens. And if you lose players early in the round like that, and it's just going to snowball against a good guild, it's not going to let you come back. Any guild that really has everything figured out, if they get the first 3 kills, shouldn't lose that round regardless of what happens after that point. And him's just doing that. 2 needs to get their banners real nice, try and keep at 15 players as long as possible into the round, and they'll have a chance of downing some him and maybe killing them out.
I mean, it looks like to me they seem to be a little bit almost too conservative with their banner usage. We saw Guardians going down early, and there was time to get them back up. They weren't getting insta-cleaved out. They were stuck in the middle of the field. Him had yet to turn their melee onto them, and the banner's still not coming down. Which even if I'd say even if a Guardian is down, anytime a Guardian is down and you have a banner to use, go ahead and use it. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, the way that I try and convince whatever guild that I'm currently playing for or whatever to do it this way. Instead of not to be a banner order where it's 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 or whatever. Have it just be numbers. It's still 1 2 3, but 1 doesn't necessarily come before 2. If one is if both call at the same time, then let the number 1 person drop. But if for whatever reason the number 1 person is rezzing someone or doing something else or not in position or whatever, still has it off cooldown, can call for banner 2 to go, or banner 2 would drop anyway, and then 1 would cancel. It works a lot better. They should always have at least 2 people casting the banner down until they figure out. 3 seconds is a long time to communicate. You should be able to figure out who's canceling and who's dropping it in that time.
Alright, so the next round gonna get started soon. 2 taking a little bit longer to call the time. I think they're making some adjustments here. Actually, they're stacking might right now. I don't know if the round is starting or not. I believe that was just a few Guardians just popping their power skill, and we'll wait to get started here pretty soon. There we go. The time is going to be 6:00, so in about 50 seconds the round will get started, and we will see the next round of this GvG. Hopefully something more exciting from 2's side, and if you're him right now, you're just hoping to close this out, keep up the momentum, keep up the pushes, and keep the clean play going. They've cleaned up a lot of the issues they had the past few nights with players going a little too deep, players getting caught out. Obviously, with a smaller gank, you're going to have some difficulties, but otherwise their frontline playing very well tonight. Alright, so the round will get started in about 13 seconds here. My co-hosts are a little quiet, probably just focusing on the round. Here we go, 6 seconds to the round starts, both sides stacking in power with 5 seconds still on the timer, and now we see Fayal pushing forward with his guild. 2 already in stealth, one of the Ellies is out early staticking, and now I believe we'll see 2 with the early aggressive pushes, pushing against Fayal, but however they take a lot of damage there. Quick reaction by him to get the bomb off, and now him leaping in. We already see 1 Guardian down for 2, 2 Guardians down for 2. Both of them are going to get cleaved out. No banners coming to save them. 1 banner goes down, but it doesn't get him up, and he gets instantly cleaved after that. Now Fayal being pushed into his corner. They're letting themselves get pushed back here, baiting out 2. Dave barely getting out, and we see a lot of low 2 players right now taking a little too much damage, trying to get away from him. Now we see Fayal pushing in, a lot of the front line going ahead of him, pushing him back into his corner, getting pushed all the way across the arena. We see another 2 player go down. He's gonna get cleaved out. No banners for him, and so that's 3 banner. Or only seen 1 banner go down so far in this GvG, even though we've seen 3 players die. Another player, Ellie, Grateful Winds, almost getting caught there. He's gonna get out barely. Mithy is low for him, and I believe 2 sees that. They're going to push to the backline looking for Mithy, trying to catch him, taking a lot of damage though on this push. They're not going to be able to sustain. The driver is down, and 2 players are down right now, so no banners coming out. They're almost running away from the fight, the 3 remaining melee, and it's basically backline and melee right now as the 2 melee who are left go down, and we see 1 Guardian running around with his head cut off as the melee for him go to clean him up. This is going to go to him again. That's going to be GG. So we're going to see the score go to 4-0, him on top. They're going to win the GvG, get those bonus 3 points. However, there's 3 more rounds left and a chance for 2 to still get some points here in this GvG.
I think what really went wrong for 2 there was that first engage when they had 2 Guardians go down. I'm not sure if II is running 2 Warriors or 3 Warriors, but we saw 2 banners dropped, and neither of them hit those players. So immediately off the bat, they were down 2 banners. I don't know if they have a 3rd Warrior, but they might have been completely out of banners after that first engage, and neither of them hit. So pretty disastrous for them.
We did see one of the players
get
bannered.
What happened there was the first banner was late on the first Guardian. He died. The second Guardian went down, and the second banner hit the second Guardian, but he was poisoned by him's players, and so he wasn't rezzed and he was cleaved out because of the poison. So that's not really, it's more of a something that him is doing well as opposed to something that 2 is doing wrong. But yeah.
So I think those banners are going to be the biggest thing they're going to have to take away from this GvG. And overall, I mean, when you I think the one thing that him did right though is they're using poison clouds to keep the players from getting fully rezzed by the banners, allowing them, even afterward, you sometimes are reluctant to drop the last banner, even after you use 2 on someone. You don't really want to use the last one on him, and that lets him just basically cleave him out as they go on the reactive, trying to regroup. So the next time is going to be at 1:30. That's in about a minute and a half from now. Let's talk about what I can do in this round to get, I guess, to do better here. Just to change something, make something else, or make some kind of adjustment. I mean, we know that they're low on players, so.
We saw that,
They're only running 2 Warriors, by the way.
Okay. We saw that, last night, we saw last night that there was, TFH who, did pretty well a couple rounds by being just super, super aggressive off the start versus him. I don't know if 2 wants to try that. That's something that I would look at. I mean, it's something where they just kind of got caught off guard. I think that if him knew that was their plan, they would have played it differently and, been more prepared and probably would end up winning that round as well. But because they were unprepared for it, they kind of just got pushed and they kind of snowballed against their favor. 2 can try that. At this point, they're really just trying to get as many any points out of this GvG as possible, as they could, because at this point they've lost the GvG. They're really just trying to gain points toward the tournament.
One thing about him is, saw it in the second round too, where they lost the most players. But if they get out of step, they really get out of step. The round is starting, and we'll see 2 early powers and stealth. They seem to have all their players out. The Ellie's coming out early, the rest of the front line being few of the front line being revealed a little bit too early there, so extra practice might be needed on that. Now we see Fayaf pushing deep, getting ready to leap in. I mean 2 getting the first engage on them, and now him being pushed push towards the left side of the arena. A lot of damage coming down from him, and 2 gonna have to pull back. 1 player is down. Fayaf already on him all by himself, trying to cleave that out. The rest of the front line joins him now. That player is still down, hasn't been finished off. He is actually gonna get bannered back up. The Guardian, however, caught on the well, gonna go back down here. Him gonna finish it off. So that's 1 Guardian down. Now we see Fayaf pushing into the back line, looking for an Ellie here. We see a player, who is it? It's gonna be Mesmer down. He gets back up, and now Fayaf pushing in. The Mesmer is still low. Valentis trying to